Good Friday morning, Mount Olive family, friends of Mount Olive, all you tuning in for another devotion. Appreciate each one of you, as we always say. We really do. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to listen to each one of these. Appreciate all the guys for all their efforts that they've done in all these weeks. We just hope that they're a blessing to you and that they will help you in your walk with the Lord. So let's go ahead and I want to share my screen with you. I hope. Oh. So Pastor TJ, this past Sunday, he continued his Secret of Success series with his message on the faithfulness that Joseph had, that no matter the situation or the circumstance that Joseph was in, he was still faithful. And that's something that, we can always look at Joseph in these past few weeks. That's the one thing that stood out. No matter what situation or what circumstance was in, Joseph was faithful. And his faithfulness was based on two solid beliefs that Joseph had, and which became foundations for Joseph to base his life on. And these foundations are: God is with me and God is working for me. Now, we could use these same two foundations if we want to. These are two truths that are always with us, and in the good times and in the bad, no matter what we're going through or where we may be or how long we're in it, God is always there and you're not alone. So let's look at these verses, Genesis 39, 21 through 23. In verse 21 says, "But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison." Now let's look at this verse again and with the foundations applied. Oops, wrong way. So I underlined, but the Lord was with Joseph. And that's the foundation number one that I talked about, that God is with us. God is with me. So God was with Joseph, no matter what situation he was in, whether he was in the pit, whether he was in Potiphar's house, or whether he's now in prison, God was with him. Let's look at the second part. And I've underlined, showed him mercy and gave him favor. So God was working with him. God was working for him. God is working for us too. And it says in verse 22, says, "And the keeper of the prison, he committed to Joseph's hand all of the prisoners that were in the prison. For whatsoever they did there, he was a doer of it." And verse 23 says, "The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it prosperous." So here's those foundations again. The Lord was with Joseph, foundation one, and that which he did, the Lord made it prosperous, foundation two. It's right there in that verse. So Joseph was faithful, and he believed God, and God rewarded his faithfulness, even while he was in prison. So the question is, are you in a type of prison? Whether it's a personal prison or a financial prison, a health care prison, or a relationship prison, or is it a spiritual prison? And then the second question is, are you being blessed while you're in that prison? If the answer is no, then where's the problem? If our life is built on the two foundations, that God is with me and God is working for me, then God, he makes no mistakes. So are you in the type of prison? There was a chaplain, we went on a Samaritan's Purse trip over a weekend to a mission trip to help with hurricane relief down in North Carolina. And that chaplain, he came by and he told us this. He said, There is no happenstance with God. Nothing just occurs to God. Things just don't occur to him. Things don't just happen, and he doesn't know about it. He works everything for his glory. There is no coincidence. God has a plan, and he has people to minister to you or for you to minister to while you're in your prison. So Pastor TJ told us that while Joseph was in prison, Pharaoh's butler and his baker, they were put in prison as well. And Joseph was put in charge of them. And both of them had a troubling dream, which they did not understand. So what did Joseph do? Let's look at those verses there. Joseph in chapter 40, verse 6 and 7, it says, and Joseph came in unto them in the morning and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. Well, he showed concern by asking, why they were sad, but he went a little step further here. Verse 7, and he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of the Lord's house, saying, wherefore look you so sadly today? He became involved with their lives. He just didn't show concern, he acted on it. And that's what being Jesus is to this world that we live in. Jesus became involved in each person's life. Joseph, he was an example of Jesus. And so when we look back, are you being a blessing while you're in that prison? Or should it say, are you being a blessing while you're in that prison? When you think about it, let's just take, for instance, the Philippian jailer. The Philippian jailer, Paul and Silas was beaten and they were put in jail. And, if it wasn't for them being put in prison and then them singing hymns and spiritual songs, and, the earthquake came, well, what was the result of all that? The Philippian jailer, he was going to kill himself. But Paul said, don't do yourself any harm. And what did the Philippian jailer say? He said, what must I do to be saved? If Paul and Silas was not in prison, that Philippian jailer would never have been saved. He would never have been saved to this day. God put him there for a reason. And I like to think it was he put him there just to save that Philippian jailer. We don't know what we'll go through. Not that we may be put in prison, but we don't know what we might go through or what situation we might be in, that we can be a blessing to someone that we come in contact with. I hope that you enjoyed this devotion for today. I hope that you will just take the time to look around you and see, who can I be a blessing to? While I'm here on this earth, while there are so many hurting people and so many people, there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of scared people out there still today. How can we as a church, how can we, not as Mount Olive Church, but as a church people, how can we be a blessing to the people we come in contact with? I hope you'll pray about that. Let's be much in prayer for our church service Sunday. Brother Brett, I think, will be bringing the message. Let's be much in prayer for those who'll come, that they'll see their need for a Savior, and that we'll see someone else saved. We'll continue this Sundays of having people saved or having people baptized. I love each one of you, and we'll see you hopefully Sunday morning.